So as we improved our maintenance awareness system, we've included now, because we've got a few black boxes for the air conditioning, for the air and the bleed, we've included air conditioning and pneumatics systems with faults that can be captured by the IASC, the Integrated Air Systems Controller, and can be displayed, okay, on the maintenance awareness system. We can display up to 15 possible status messages for the air conditioning system and 29 possible status messages for the pneumatic system. If you say, what, all at the same time? Well, maybe not all at the same time. There's 15 possibilities of defects. Yeah. If you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, yeah, you ain't going anywhere in a hurry. You don't have to have all 15 up there. Same with the pneumatics. If you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 at the same time, you don't need all 29 up there to realize that you're going to have to be doing some troubleshooting before the next departure. Okay. So the air conditioning and pneumatic systems data is viewable, and you can view it real time on the ground or in an auto or manual event, as we saw before. All right. Auto events are generated when the system has a fault, and the manual events are generated by pressing the record button on the system's display during a real time. Okay, so it's a bit similar to the NG, where we had the possibility, we had an event push button, yeah, that we recommended to the pilots to press if something needed to be monitored. So we already discussed the onboard maintenance function puts the maintenance light on if there is a problem with the bleed or is there a problem with the air conditioning. 30 seconds after landing, yeah, and it's an airworthiness defect, usually is when it comes to bleed or air conditioning, then the maintenance light will come on. Okay, so after viewing the status messages, the engineer will then go using his little cursor. He will then press the onboard maintenance button to access the OMF. The status messages then correlate to maintenance messages. So he has to find a cockpit effect and correlate it to a status message. And under the line maintenance menu, you can then view the faults in the air conditioning realm of things, or if you use your cursor and go down, you can go to chapter 36, but the pneumatics here, the next picture, and read the faults. Okay. There is a possibility of 154 maintenance messages for the air conditioning system and 94 maintenance messages for the pneumatic system. The onboard maintenance function allows you to do ground tests for the air conditioning and pneumatic systems. There's 4 tests available. Okay, there's 4 for the air conditioning. There's 4 systems tests available. For the pneumatic, there's 2 tests available. 2 operational tests and 8 LRU replacement tests. Now, you're going to say, is that it? Well, it's better than the NG where, as we said before, you started the packs, you put the bleed on, full hot, full cold, you tested the TCVs, and, this now actually tells you and gives you valve positions. So it is a significant improvement for what we used to have. Okay. Engine fire protection. This is in here as well because it's a bit different. Different engine, therefore different amount of fire wires. The principle is the same, but the amount of loops, we have a loop A and loop B, but we have a different amount of fire detectors. Okay. They're vapor tight insulated stainless steel firewalls. that isolate the engines from the wing. Okay, there's fire blankets, there's fire shielding, there's air, fire and fluid leakage zones, have drains to prevent collection of flammable fluids. These are all methods to prevent the initiation of a fire or even diffuse the propagation of a fire. Okay. There's fire zone hoses and hardware that have to be specifically fireproof for their location. Okay, so that we have a fully contained fireproof box wherever there's equipment, for example. And the engine fire detection is based on 7 detectors now per loop. So there's 14 detectors, 7 for loop A, 7 for loop B. Each loop has detectors in the fan right section, the fan upper section, the fan mid section, the fan lower section, the core left section, the core right section, and the combustor burn through. There's a fire detection control unit, black box, in the E&E compartment, which will monitor the detection of the loops to give indications like engine overheat, engine fire, and system faults. The overheat alarm comes on before the fire alarms, obviously. So we have an engine overheat is, as you can see from this here, is an amber indication. It's an overheat. It's creeping upwards and towards a pending problem. Okay, so if this light came on, the master caution light will come on the 6-pack or next to the 6-pack on the P7. You also have fire warning lights, which are red, as we know, fire handle lights, which come on red as well. The fuel control switch indication light. Remember, we talked about these here on the control stand. They're now illuminated. So they will come on for the correct engine so that there's no incorrect engine shutdown. They will come on as well, the respective one. We'll get an oral warning bell sound. Okay. Just like in the NG. This module here, the engine fire detection module, normally uses logic. In that it's a sort of and principle if both loops are working. And then it goes into a or principle if one loop is in op. So if one loop is in op, then the other loop, whatever it detects, will indicate as a genuine fault. Okay. Funny enough, the FDCU, sorry, also gives a signal to the network file server. Okay, where, what does this do here? It will store the engine APU fire detection data on the onboard maintenance function. Okay, when there's an overheat or fire signal from the AFDCU, a maintenance message is generated and stored on the onboard maintenance function. This also has a byte, a built-in test equipment that we can test some stuff. Here, you can see all the lights, the loops. You can test the integrity of the loops. In fact, there are certain MELs, certain dispatch maintenance provisos where under certain circumstances you have to check the operability of the working loop if you are going to MEL one of the 2 loops. We have cargo fire protection. Okay, then this also has transformed into a thing. with the cargo fire since I think it was an Air Alaska DC-9 or an MD-80, where oxygen generators actually caused a fire in the cargo. This is years ago now. And since we have aircraft now where they're much longer range and ETOPS is approaching limits, an airport capability, um, ETOPS is getting tested with its limits. And therefore, you might be flying for 60, 90, 120 minutes with no possibility to land. We have had to improve and install things like this in the cargo bays. Because if you have a fire in the cargo bay and you've got nowhere to land for 90 minutes, you're going to have a problem. So we've had to install these things so that we can extinguish possibility of smoke or fire in the cargo bays. Exactly for that reason that we are testing the aircraft now and their capabilities to its limits. All right, there is a capability of installing bottles for the forward cargo and the aft cargo. There is detectors that can detect the smoke. And we have, especially for ETOPS, two bottles, the two bottles where we can discharge one instantly, and the other one will go on a slow flow, and we'll start discharging. I think it's after 15 minutes of the first one. And it supplies a total of 195 minutes. That's 200 minutes, guys. That's 4 hours nearly, well, 3.5 hours of flying time that it will provide fire suppression. Okay, you've got to be really unlucky if a fire develops and you've got 3 hours to go, because it means you came from somewhere that's less than 3 hours to go back to. You know what I mean? So your choice. All right. Now, our membership is made up of two parts. There's a library resources, and there's a community to connect with myself and others. It's different from any other online training platform you might have been part of, as it has the human element with it. We don't just sell you a course and then send you on your way. We're there to support you and motivate you. So if you're stuck, there's real people there to reach out to. So here you'll find many resources organized in a way to save you time. Everything's mapped out from starting your career to getting your license to your first type rating to upskilling your qualifications. There's many non-mandatory courses, just like this one, that you can take that come with certificates so that you can be building your skill set ready to impress your next employer. The AME community, this is the other part of the membership, and this is where the magic happens. So inside the community, which you can see here, can be on your phone, you'll find forums where you can get help every single day. You don't have to go to Facebook anymore to look for support and spend hours scrolling and hoping to find the answers to your questions. You can now ask in a place where you can be sure to get the right information. If we don't know the answer to your question, somebody in the membership, or we will find somebody that does know the answer to the question. Everything you need is at your fingertips and easy to find in a user-friendly app that you can download. The community is a great place to make connections that are lasting and that will help you as you move along your journey. You can take part in as many or as little as you like. You decide. We do charge a fee for this, and you might be asking yourself why. Well, research shows that if something is free, you're less likely to use it. If you pay for something, it automatically creates accountability. makes you want to get your money's worth. Sorry, makes you want to get your money's worth and do the trainings and be active in the community. You may feel that $200 is a lot of money to pay in one chunk, but think of it not as a cost, but as an investment. Why not give yourself 12 months of support, resources, connections, trainings, and be part of a professional community, not just another Facebook group? We will be raising our prices next year as the amount of resources in the library grows. But if you join now, you will stay at the low rate for the whole time you remember. And there's more, the annual fee will keep going up. So it pays to do it sooner rather than later, because you will be on the starting rate, which is the one on the top left of this picture here. Okay, so we will be raising the prices. There's trainings being added all the time. We've got some exciting courses coming in 2025. Just as a small tip, we've got an EASA 145, FAA 135 compliant ATR Gen FAM course, which is coming up, which will be available in the library with certificate next year, which, if you remember, will be absolutely free. Okay, so and as time goes by, we intend to put more and more courses in all the time.